I think the next level of customer guidance, that would be one trend. And for that, you have to use all the news you have on the market and in the digital business.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another conversation with short, insightful discussions with CX leaders and innovators around the globe. Thankful to be here for another segment with you, and with the help, of course, of my fearless marketing leader, Fritz Lauer. Innovating for today's customer is the focus. And of course, today the benefit is we're going global. I'm joined by Jörg Heinemann, who drives innovation and digitization for Otto. Jörg is a well-known public speaker throughout Germany and Europe. Talks about all things Internet of Things, smart homes, conversational commerce, and his previous companies include TUI as well as General Business Creations, Otto is a part of the Otto Group. For those German friends out there, right? This is a very well-known name, household name in Germany. Founded in 1949, it's one of the world's largest online retailers with over 50,000 employees in over 30 countries. And Jörg leads digitization and innovation for Otto. So it's an absolute pleasure to be joined by Jörg today. Today's topic, again, is innovating for today's constantly evolving consumer. Jörg, thanks for joining.
Taryn, thanks for having me, and you are so well prepared. So almost nothing I can add to that introduction.
My wife says I'm very good at faking that, right? You fake it until you make it, right?
Great wife.
Yes. Jörg, we were just talking, Fritz and I, before today's segment, that we're approaching now almost 2 years since the pandemic has obviously changed so much of our lives. How have you been? I see you're in your home office. How have you been staying busy?
Yeah, it's crazy times, and I think it's for me personally. Yeah, especially at the moment in Germany, the situation is not so good. I think it's the worst since starting the pandemic. For me, private, I'm healthy at the moment, but I'm not so happy with the situation, especially for Charles. It's a good thing for me that working in the e-commerce business, and can do that from my home office in a small village. So I have not the biggest problem with crowd people. I can skip the driving time to the headquarters of Otto, so it's a day 3.5 hours public transportation outside the pandemic. So I'm almost 2 years in the home office now.
Wow.
And or 1.5 year, I think. But for our business, it's not the worst thing, to be honest. We want to have other arguments for that, but I think a pandemic is one key driver of the e-commerce situation in Germany at the moment.
Yeah, you saying and talking about the 2 years as well. I wonder if it would have been good to take some before and after pictures, before the pandemic and after, to see how everyone feels 2 years later. Jörg, since you are, of course, overseeing the Otto Group's innovation and strategy as pertains to e-commerce, let's put you in consumer's shoes. Have you had any particularly memorable experiences as a consumer, either throughout the pandemic or before? And can I ask why it's memorable?
Yeah, you can, and I have to think a little bit about that, because sometimes I say I live digital, so I have almost everything in my life from the internet. My wife also. Met them first time in real life, but then find them back in online dating. So maybe that's one of the best digital
It should
experience
count.
I had.
Yeah.
But I think the situations that are most memorable are, I think, the first time you do something, receiving my first online order, as I had my own e-commerce company founded during school, or the first flight online check-in, with checking in with a wallet, and it skipped all lines because at
Mm.
that time the most people are having the paper in the hand and staying in the line, or the first Uber order and ride in the USA
Right.
in times we have only taxis, or the first payment with Apple Watch. I think that are the moments I remember, because, like you said, I'm not chief of innovation or something like that. I'm more an internal consultant, and my job is to find that situation
Mm.
and that new techniques and software and services, and to check if that can change our business model, our opportunities to interact with customers.
Mm.
And if I have that moment, and I see how helpful and how good they are for me, I can imagine that are thousands or millions of potential customers out there that would love to have that experience
Right.
also.
Right. Um, so I have to pivot, of course, now to Otto, right? So this isn't as well known in the US, but you guys are obviously one of Europe's most successful e-commerce companies. Tell us a bit about Otto and the Otto Group.
Yeah, you have stolen my text because you were very prepared, or you have faked a lot like your wife to.
Yes.
Yeah, so Otto is only based in Germany, and I think you can order from Europe, but we are focused totally on Germany.
Okay.
For your US hearing people, I think maybe you know Crate and Barrel,
Yep.
the famous furniture store. They belong to the Otto Group,
Mm.
like we do, like we belong to Otto Group. We have 4.5 billion euro turnover, and we have, yeah, like about 2.6 million qualified visits a day on our shop, and we have at the moment more than 70% mobile traffic. But we come from a heritage, like you said, founded after the Second World War, like a classical mail order or big book company,
Mm.
because like our slogan on the website, startup since 1949. So I think we transformation is business for us, and we transformed a lot, and I think that's the reason why we are the only um, historical big book company that's still on the market and very successful. So we would call us now an e-commerce company or a digital company, and not a mail order anymore.
Okay.
And we have the customer base grown a lot during the pandemic, and we have now um, 10 million active customers. And as you know, Germany, it's almost, I think, a little bit over 80 million people. So you see,
Mm.
we are very well known in Germany.
Mm. And of course, as you mentioned to your role before, part of your responsibilities is also looking for the latest trends when digitalizing customer relations. If you could pick or prioritize only three, which of the trends are you most excited about and keeping your eye
Only three is not easy, but
on?
I have a
Then
trick
it's a good
because
question. Good.
because
Yeah.
because I think I've put some sub trends together. Maybe I think the first I would yeah say is next level of customer guidance, with all the new techniques like guidance with video help desk,
Mm.
improved bots, augmented reality, especially these days with a meta announcement, virtual reality, what's coming there, and maybe the full, if you use the full potential of omnichannel journeys. So with combining things you can do better online, and things you are, yeah, you can have a better customer experience offline.
Mm.
So I think the next level of customer guidance, that would be one trend. And for that you have to use all the news you have on the market and in the digital business, especially what's I think artificial intelligence is one driver
Mm.
of that. Yeah, but I wouldn't say, if if you look from a customer perspective on that, artificial intelligence, it's a trend. Yeah, it's a base for you are able to offer a better customer experience. So that was first. Second, it's a little bit shorter. So I think it's not a surprise. It's conversational commerce,
Mm.
focused on better bots and integrated journeys you have in the messenger tools now. And the third is live commerce, or we call it internal to being more to the point, mobile video commerce, that
Mm.
everybody inside the company understands it's not teleshopping 2.0. It's focused on mobile devices and the format um, yeah you have on smartphones. So it's not horizontal, it's the
Yes.
other way around.
Yes. Yeah. And that makes sense, right? The third one, especially because everyone's stuck on their couch or stuck in their office, like you are, or laying around. So this
I'm
live,
not laying at the moment, so
well, yeah. Are you in a recliner like this?
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Um, but talk to me about this live shopping trend. So obviously, we know, frankly, at iAdvise, as this is a solution we also offer, it's exploded over in APAC. It's made its way across Europe, and it's starting to enter the US now, where I'm located. But have you tested it? Have you found it impactful? What benefits does it bring your customers? What can you share?
Yeah, to be honest, we are testing at the moment. So
Mm,
it's a great new channel in e-commerce. It is very successful in Asia and already there. And I think 300 billion revenue, I think, this year.
mm,
And they have, I think, over a third of the e-commerce revenue is driven by that. So crazy figures. But it will be in Europe successful and in Germany also. So why? Live streaming is successful. Everybody knows that, especially in the pandemic, to see live streams. So teleshopping was and is successful in Germany. Chatting is more popular than having a call, and e-commerce is scaling a lot.
mm.
So why should a combination of all that not being successful? So that's the reason why we are testing at Otto. So the classical format, optimized for mobile, the possibility to chat with service staff and the moderator during that. And we had two shows at the moment, so we have four in the test period. It's
Mm.
not a lot compared to China. I think there are 50,000 shows a day
Yeah.
throughout the country.
Right.
But for us, it's a test to test everything: the technical APIs,
Mm.
the production, working together with brands. So the first shows there, they were focused on our own brands. So we will have one show with a famous Technic brand in December. So we are testing a lot, and I hope that we will roll that
Mm.
format out next year. And my dream is to having Otto TV 24/7. Maybe not every time live, but
Mm.
to have the whole day content and recorded shows, a mix of recorded shows and live shows. That's my dream, and I think it's
Yeah.
not unrealistic.
No, that's like Amazon Live, right? They do that as well. I think. Yeah.
Not, I think not in Germany. But
No,
you
no, in
have
the
you
US.
have that in the US already.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Huh.
think that will be a very relevant
Right.
channel in the future. And like you mentioned, especially in the pandemic, because okay, you can't smell or touch things,
Right.
but the people in the stream, the moderator and the influencer, that they can do it for you.
Right.
And I think that's much more better experience than you have if you are only on a website or
Of course.
in the shopping app. So I think there it's a bridge between e-commerce and retail, and so that's the
Mm.
reason why I think it will be successful in Europe and especially in Germany also.
Now, conversational commerce is one of your favorite topics. Of course, the iAdvise messaging and our solution is focused around text, voice, and video, and making sure that we give consumers every way of engaging and communicating. But frankly, I'm sure you've seen that the communication between a consumer and a retailer or brand has evolved quite a bit. Uh, what have you seen lately, and what does this actually mean for businesses?
I think the popularity among customers is increasing,
Mm,
and I think I can only speak especially for Germany, but we were not on top of the digitalization. But
okay.
the pandemic, sometimes you heard for the business focus, yeah, the pandemic or Corona is the best CDO, so Chief Digital Officer. It's in the private field
Mm,
also, especially in the focus group of the silver surface you call. So more and more people are very yeah, they know how to use WhatsApp and video calling and all that stuff. So it's very popular on
mm,
customer side. And as a business, you have to be on all channels that were primarily used by your customers. So
mm,
you have to be there, and the different channels you have more and more possibilities because there are more and more features they add, like WhatsApp. I think in the US you are more ahead with integrated shopping journeys
mm,
and all that stuff, and you have to be prepared because it's for customers, it's a very easy way to communicate with companies. And
mm.
speaking for my own, it's my most favorite channel, and it doesn't matter if it's a worldwide company or
Right.
the coffee shop in the next village I live by. So because different opening times, or you want to order something, or it's so easy, it's only one chat away.
Mm,
And I think, like I told before, with one trend of next level of customer guidance with video and all that stuff. So that's the reason, because if you add things like that to the chats, like you do that with friends, I think most times you're only chatting. But if you
right.
want to show something to your friends, you can add video with a fingertip. And if you are able, as a customer or a company, to activate, for example, video, yeah, then you have, we talked about live shopping before, then you are able to have your private live shopping session with a company.
Mm.
That would be a booster of in the customer interaction and the happiness of customers, I think.
Right. Yeah, especially with if you're selling high price point items.
Yeah.
An analogy I've used in the U.S. for a couple of home improvement retailers that we work with is they need to be able to smell the sawdust online, right? You need to make sure that they have that sort of immersive experience. So live shopping in this way of engaging is definitely relevant.
Yeah.
I know from discussions, Jörg, that Otto is doing some pioneering with voice assistants, which are big in Germany. What can you share about your use cases?
Yeah, that's right. We were one of the first, and the reason why we were was a trip to the US. I think it was January 2017,
Hmm.
and we were there on the West Coast on an innovation trip. And before that, I think I would never played smart speaker. Or no German will do that because
Hmm.
they are afraid of NSA or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we were there in January, and we went to a bed and bath store near Seattle, and there was an empty pallet with a sign, Amazon Echo sold out during Christmas shopping.
Hmm.
And it was not a Best Buy, it was a bed and bath. And that was a moment I recognized, okay, it will grow, it will come to Germany, and it will be in the center of the population and not only for nerds.
Yeah.
And that was the reason why we started in more an innovation project. Like I told, I'm yeah, an internal expert for things like that. And um, we said we have to test that, and we started with a customer focused use case. So, and why we started that, and the focus topic inside the service field was why we talked to our relation center and
Mm,
asked them what is the most asked question in if people call you, and it is where's my package. So it's I cannot imagine that because I receive the push notifications. I have my special parcel tracking app.
mm,
For me it's unbelievable, but it doesn't matter. It matters what most of the consumers want to
right.
know. And if they call us, um, yeah, we could talk about costs of that.
Mm,
So it was very easy way because so it's more easy for customers to ask a smart speaker or digital assistant, because the digital assistant works on smart speaker, it works on smartphones, it works on smart TVs, to ask it, um, where is my order. And we started with that use case and that works well, but it's a little compared to other channels. So I think we
okay.
have 300 interactions a day with that, and we have 10,000 of calls, and we have only 1 million WhatsApp message. 1 million WhatsApp conversations a year, so it's a very small channel,
Mm,
but we have to test it, and we will test it in future also. We have added some functionality, but the usage is not scaling a lot.
okay.
But that's that's for our business. I think if I would be in the online grocery sector, or if I would be in the pizza delivery field or something like that, I think the use case would be much more higher.
Mm,
So don't think about if it's valuable for Otto or not. You have to think, is it valuable for your customers, and do you have a good use case you can offer your customers through that digital assistant,
mm,
um, before a competitor of you does. So
right.
that's the point.
Well, so right now you're differentiating with it, right? So mm, again, if it's got some impact for your customer, that's the way to be thinking through it.
Yeah.
Now, Jörg, give me your definition for conversational commerce, and then again, I want to learn a bit more about how you think this actually applies to the buying journey.
Yeah, I think it's for me, it's like from a customer perspective, it's a possibility to communicate with a company like you can do with friends and
Right.
family with a messaging app. So the same experience, easy, all the possibilities you have. So that's from a customer perspective, and that's my vision.
Mm,
It's not there at the moment. Maybe some companies are very good in that, and it depends on the technical issues, the messenger app or offers you or the business. But that's my vision, and that's for me, yeah, the target where it should be in the future or at the moment. And yeah, I think it can be relevant in all steps of the journey, and you should be prepared as a business and offer customers more value through
mm.
that, and at all steps where it makes sense. And I think it depends on your business, but I think it's valuable almost for every customer of every business to be there and offer something, from companies like us to the small coffee shop I mentioned before.
And I like that analogy, right? It almost feels like the great equalizer between that small business and a world-renowned business about how easy and how much conversation you facilitate in your digital experience. Uh, Jorg, I'm curious. Naturally, it seems to make sense, but what are some of the obvious obstacles, or maybe not so obvious obstacles, that someone would encounter when deploying a conversational strategy?
I think it's the tough thing is starting maybe to
Sure.
do it. I'm a friend, and maybe that's the reason why I'm more an expert and not a member of the board,
Mm,
to test something with an MVP, or starting. You have to do it, and sometimes it's more easy for a small business, because The difference is like the coffee shop one village away. There is the owner with his private smartphone and private handy mobile phone number,
Mm,
so he can play that on the website, and he's ready, so he can start.
mm,
And maybe he has to scale or to add technical back-end solutions in future, but he can start that way.
mm,
As a company, you can't do that. You have many challenge, and it depends on the abilities of the company.
right.
So there are technical to-dos, there are organizational topics, um, and yeah, there are many challenges you have to tackle. But you have to think from a customer perspective, and like I said, where you can give value, and then maybe you start with a MVP, and to test if it's really valuable to your customers.
Mm.
And I'm very convinced that you will find it, that there is a big yes, and then you can start with that use case and maybe add more and more and more.
So, Jorg, we're at time just about. I'm promising that I'm almost done with my interrogation on conversational commerce with you. On this actual same topic, do you have any tips or suggestions or words of wisdom for someone who's looking to get started?
Yeah, I think, like I mentioned before, you have to start with your first use case. And
Yeah.
if you have people inside the company that didn't trust that you have to be there in conversational commerce thing, uh, you have to ask them how they communicate with friends and family, and
Mm,
and and why they do it that way. Okay, I think that they will answer. They will chat with them. Okay, if they told you, they are only have conversation with telephone or with letters, I think
mm,
that are not the best
right.
decision makers in your company. But I think you have to ask that questions, and yeah, you have to achieve that they change their mind to the customer perspective, and show them that it's valuable for the customers. And then you have to think about what can be the first use case, the first MVP. Like we started our voice commerce journey
Mm,
with with an Google action that can only answer one question. We have added a lot more after that, but I think you have to start,
right.
and you have to find your use case based on your business model. You have to choose the right channel, and that depends on the favorite channel of your customers, what messenger solution they use, or if you can start on your website maybe with a chat. So that depends, and it depends on if you have enough service staff, or then maybe you can start with yeah, conversational commerce in persona,
Mm,
uh, or you are forced to starting from the scratch with a bot. So it
right.
depends on your customers, on your business model, and your possibilities you have inside the company. But you have to start.
Well, Jorg, thank you so much. Obviously, it was a pleasure to have you. I wish you and your family and friends and everyone over in Germany nothing but a safe and healthy winter. But thank you again for joining us. This was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to speak with you. Thanks for having me, and I hope we can talk again, maybe in months or years, and look
Yes,
how the
and
trends were successful or not.
yes, and laugh about this crazy time.
I
In the
hope
world.
so. I hope
Absolutely.
so. Thank you very much, and stay healthy.